What's going on, everybody? It's go-karts, mini bikes, and more. And as you can see in the last video, I got these foot grips on. And now what I just did is I put the seat on. Now I know I said I'd make an in-depth video of putting it together, but I'm just trying to cut out all the boring stuff that you guys really don't need to see. That's self-explanatory. As you can see, it's just one bolt there and two bolts in the back. Put it on. The one downside to these bolts that they give you is they're like smaller, like a tad smaller than the holes that are in the brackets to bolt the seat on. So they're like already just about ready to rip through, as you can see. So I'd recommend having some washers on hand. I'm just gonna ride it until the bolts rip through, and then I'll put washers. It's kind of stupid to do, but I'm just kind of done with this build. I just want to get it done, you know. Now over here, I'm putting on the number plate. I'm not going to show you guys that because that's not an actual step to the Azusa build kit. It's just something that I added. And I will have a part 5, I believe it will be, on putting the wheels and tires and probably the engine on and everything. But I'm just trying to cut out all the small stuff. The biggest downside to powder coating is that this pipe where the bolt goes through for the forks has warped, so it's a little difficult to put it in. The forks don't exactly sit straight and everything, so it's gonna take a little bit of fiddling around with it. I'm just hoping, since they're so warped, that when I put this bolt in, it won't strip the threads and I'll never get it back out. Fingers crossed that that doesn't happen. But I'm gonna put the forks on because you guys know how to do that. You just slip it over, run the bolt through, and put the nut on. You don't want it too tight to where it won't turn. Just snug. It's a Loctite a nylock nut. So and you could probably hear my dog barking upstairs. But it's a nylock nut, so you don't have to crank down on it. Just enough to where there's no slop in the forks, and to where it can still turn freely. So I'm gonna do that off camera because I know you guys don't want to see that, but right now I'm putting the number plate on, so you'll probably see me once the number plate is on, if I get it on, because I am having a little bit of difficulties fitting this screw into here. So that's just something I got to do first, figure out first, and then next you'll see it with the forks on, hopefully. And if not, that's because I had complications with that, but we'll see. Fingers crossed, everything goes well. Okay, so I got the forks flipped over. I have the screw screwed in. Now I should mention, yes, this is stupid. Yes, I know it's probably not gonna work. I did not tap this bracket, like the hole like this that's up, covered in blue Loctite. And the reason for that is because I just couldn't find a tap. If I could find one, I would have tapped it. That would have definitely helped my case a lot, but I didn't. I kind of just screwed it into the metal. And thus why it's covered in blue Loctite, just to hopefully hold it in there really good. Is that gonna work? No, probably not. And when it fails, I'll have to take the forks off of the frame, set them back on the table, and take the number plate off, tap the hole, and then use thread locker and everything in a tapped hole. Even though, as you can see, that bracket, it might look thick on camera, but it's not. Let me see if I have a, yep, I have a second one. As you can see, it's not that thick. So even if I tap it, there wouldn't be a whole lot of threads anyway, but it'd still be at least 1.5 to 1 for the screw to screw into, and that's better than just screwing it into the paint and the metal. So that's why I have Loctite just drenched in it. Hopefully it'll hold it on there, but I don't think that's gonna work, but let's hope for the best. Well guys, it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. What had happened was the forks didn't really go on right, and when I tried putting them on, the number plate completely fell apart. And of course I had dirty hands when I grabbed it, so I got dirt and everything all stuck up in the thing. As you could see all like that raised parts. That's where I had to touch up the paint and it didn't quite match. So what I had to do was peel off the old numbers. They're like $1 each, so I'm not too worried about that. I had to peel off the numbers, and now I'm gonna have to give it once over with white paint, once over with clear coat. I'm not too happy, but I found out a better way to attach a number plate to the forks, and simpler is always better, guys. So what I'm just gonna do is run bolts in the screws or bolts from the back, and just have the threads sticking outwards, and then just do acorn nuts on here. I think it'll look good, so that's what I'm gonna do. So guys, that concludes this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check me out on Garage Amino at Go Karts, Mini Bikes, and more, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.